All right, perfect. Okay, so good morning, team. Today we're going to be going over exactly what it is that we're looking for here in the markets, and we're going to recap actually what we saw happen yesterday. Each and every morning we go through our Ace Trader method, which stands for A, anticipation, C, confirmation, and E, execution. It's actually a step-by-step checklist that we go through that I actually give to you guys absolutely free. So if you guys want it, you can get that in the link down in the description, or for those of you who are on the shorts or the TikTok stream, you guys can DM me the word ACE and you guys can have that as well. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you being here, and let's get into it. So first thing we're going to be looking at here is the MNQ. Now with the MNQ, we talked a little bit, we talked actually a lot this week about this area. This week, let's say prior to yesterday, we didn't really have a lot of volume this week. Can we all agree on that? Drop a yes in the chat if we can all agree that the volume was pretty shady this week, right? I appreciate the follow there, Waldmar Lorenzo. Can I call you Lorenzo? That would be so much easier for me. Appreciate you following up here. GG, good morning. Good morning, GG. Good morning. Right, so in terms of this, the market was pretty slow volume this week. Now, really quickly, let's talk to me real quick. What we're looking at our 4-hour time frame. Hold on. Let's backtrack. Let's pull up our step-by-step checklist that we go through. Let's pull up this step-by-step checklist. That way we know exactly what it is that we got to do each and every day. Let's just back it up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, we want to make sure that we're trading the New York session, which is going to be 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, does anybody know why we trade 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? Let me scoot this over so you guys can see this a little bit there. Does anybody know? Right? Drop it in the chat if you know exactly why we trade this. We trade 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Absolutely right, right? YBG, there's more volatility. Now, why is there more volatility? What specifically happens at this time? Well, we get the New York Open. This is when the big boys actually step into the markets, and overnight orders also come into the markets as well. So we see an influx in volume, right? An influx in volume. So what do we want to do? And I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's take a look at the charts, and we can take a look specifically at yesterday at our 9:30 open. Well, what did we see happen at 9:30 open yesterday? Well, this was our 9:30 open candle right here, right? The markets was pretty slow, right? Pretty slow all week. And then yesterday, 9:30 open, this was that 9:30 open candle. We got a ton of volume to the upside, and guess what? That volume continued to push to the upside, and we were able to capitalize on these waves upwards of this move here that we got yesterday, right? So there's an influx in volume, and if there's an influx in volume, that potentially leads us to be able to capitalize on better moves. So that's the first thing. We want to make sure that we're trading inside of that session. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to take a look at my FX book or Forex Factory. Now, I like Forex Factory. I used to say my FX book, but I'm leaning more towards Forex Factory, right? The data is just seeming a little bit more, not a little bit more accurate, but I like the fact that you can go to the calendar and take a look at the calendar and go back to different days, right? So in terms of this today here, what we're looking for, this is August 14th. We want to see, is there any high impacting news? Specifically, is there any red folder news that we need to be on the lookout for, right? And if we take a look at this market here today, well, do we have any red folder news? No, we don't have any red folder news here today. So we don't expect an additional influx in volume as we seen yesterday with the PPI data. Now, really recapping a little bit about yesterday, the PPI data came worse than expected. And for those of you who were on here yesterday, we talked about how that was a bullish indication on the fundamental side for our USD, right? Because if it comes out worse than expected, that is a negative sign for the DXY USD, but a bullish sentiment for our indices, right? So we've seen that reflected through our market open yesterday. So we don't have any high volume news to worry about here today. We can go ahead, we can check that off, right? Boom, perfect. So now we need to do our first thing that once we actually hop onto the charts. The first thing that we want to do when we hop onto the charts chat is we want to identify our 4-hour direction. And I know I got a little bit of stuff here on the chart, but we're going to get into what that stuff is and why it was important. But if we're looking at this 4-hour wave here, chat, what are we? Are we 4-hour bullish or are we 4-hour bearish? Talk to me. Talk to me here today on a Friday. And can we get to 10K likes, chat? Can we get 10K likes? Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you guys who are on here. So Kai says bullish, YBG says bullish, GG says bullish, It's Anika says bullish. Is this a bullish market structure here, chat? Well, for those of you who said bullish, you guys are absolutely correct. This is a bullish market structure that we're in. Now, why is this a bullish market structure? Well, simply because price is creating higher highs and higher lows in this market structure. So what do we have? We had a low get created, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? We all can see that right there. Then we had a higher high, shifted the structure here, higher low, higher high, higher low. We just priced in a higher high yesterday to actually confirm that the market structure is still bullish. Now, the biggest thing that we want to talk about is this area that I have all of these circles at, because this is the area that we've been talking about all week. What was this level? This is that 30,100 level, right? 30,080 to 30,100 level. And you can see here the resistance that we've had off of this level, and that's what's indicated by these circles here, right? So you can see how price has been reacting off of this level in the past. It's just been a very, and if you can't see it here, we'll do it like this. It's just been a very strong level that price has just been struggling to get through. And we talked about if we can finally get back above this level, a couple of things will happen. Not only will this weekly candle now flip to being bullish, you can see we got this weekly candle finally in the last 2 days, we got it to flip bullish after being relatively bearish all week. But we're also above this area here on the weekly time frame. And if this weekly can close above this resistance level here, then we could actually see the next week go up and continue upwards of this 30,600 area. That's very important, because what happens at the 30,600 area? At 30,600, this quarterly candle flips from being a bearish quarterly candle to now being a bullish quarterly candle. We still have 2 months, chat, 2 months for this quarterly candle to close. And I do believe that we close as a bullish quarterly candle and we potentially head into all-time highs, right? So hopefully you're starting to understand, okay, well, what does this mean, right? What does this mean? What are we looking for? We're going to get into it today as to what I'm going to be actually looking for in terms of the markets, but I want you to understand where we're at on the bigger picture and why breaking through this level here at this 30,100 resistance was so impactful for our move yesterday, and specifically why we've seen such an influx in volume, right? Because this was such a strong level that you got to think about it like this. You need more pressure to actually break through the level when it's that strong. And once we actually got through that level, that pressure was now released, right? So now that we're above this level here at this 30,100, right? 30,080, 30,100. What did we see happen yesterday? Well, now we got to go into the next step, right? Because you guys have just told me that our 4-hour time frame is bullish. We need to identify what our 15-minute time frame is telling us. I appreciate each and every one of you who are liking the stream. If you guys are getting value out of this, be sure to tap the screen. I absolutely appreciate it. We're trying to get to 10K likes. If you guys can help us do that there. So we want to identify what the direction is on our 15-minute time frame. Okay, so let's go to our 15-minute time frame. Let's take a look at what the 15-minute is telling us. And this is where we get to play our game that we love so dearly. If we're looking at this 15-minute time frame here, chat, well, is the 15-minute time frame bullish or is it bearish, chat? Talk to me. Is the 15-minute bullish or is it bearish? He said, this is actually so good. I absolutely appreciate that, Kate. Right? Arbitrage, I appreciate you guys. So Kai says bull, YBG says bull, Adrian says bull, Yo D says bull, K says bull, It's Anika says bull, bullish, humble champs, appreciate the follow. Yay, for those of you who aren't currently following, we're creeping up on 7,000 followers. I absolutely appreciate you. Mari, welcome back, Mari. I told you I wouldn't forget about you, Mari. Welcome. So my time says bull, right? We are absolutely in a bullish market structure on our 15-minute time frame, chat. We're in a bullish market structure on our 15-minute time frame. So now what we need to do, chat, we get to play our favorite game. What's our game here, chat? We get to play. How many of you know who the game? Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat if you know what game we're about to play here. My veterans should know what game we're about to get into. If you're new, go ahead and stay tuned, because we are about to get into a game that is ever so dear to our hearts here. Cook or be cooked. Yes, sir. Adrian, you got it right on the money. Kai, right on the money. My veterans. My time, see or be so. Yeah, cook or be cooked, right? That's what we're about to play here. So now this is a game where we help to identify where our key area of interest high and our key area of interest low is. You guys told me that we're in a bullish market structure on our 15-minute time frame and a bullish market structure on our 4-hour time frame. So that means that we're in what type of structure, chat? Are we in a continuation structure or are we in a corrective structure, right? For those of you who don't know what a continuation structure or corrective structure is, stay tuned because I do want you guys to figure this out. This is very, very important on how you want to actually execute, because yesterday we were still in that continuation structure and we got a very, very good move because we were in a continuation structure with the added fundamental volume that we had and the break of that key area of interest high that we were looking for, right? So this is a continuation structure. Absolutely right, Kai, Adrian, Kate. Continuation structure, right? That means it's continuing in the direction of our larger time frame trend. That means our 4-hour is bullish and our 15-minute is in alignment with the 4-hour. So we're in a continuation structure. If the 4-hour was bullish but the 15-minute was bearish, that means we would be in a corrective structure, and that's why we need to play this game cook or be cooked, because if we see our key area of interest low broken, then that's when the market structure actually flips from being bullish to now being bearish on our 15-minute time frame, which would take us from a continuation structure to a corrective structure. So this is how this game works. We're going to identify a couple of key areas and you guys have to tell me by vote what is our key area of interest high and what our key area of interest low is, chat. So in terms of this, where is our key area of interest high? Is it one here? Wait for it. You guys know my keyboard. It takes a little second to heat up here. All right, one here, two here, three here. Oh, wait. Wrong tool. Three there, and then finally 4 here. Where is our key area of interest high? And just in case we're I ain't gonna say nothing yet. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing yet. You guys have to tell me, where is our key area of interest high? I'm just going to put this cursor right there. That's all I'm going to do. So what do we got going on here? What are we seeing? Did you add your sounds? I did not yet, Adrian. I'm going to do it today. I promise. I'm going to do it today. And I'm going to add a couple more things to make the streams better too. So Lasting says 2. Adrian says 4. Kai says 2. Non-existent says 4. Rob says 4. Cynthia says 4. Itzanika says 4. Non-existent says 4. My Time 4. Christopher J says 4. Key says 4. Cade says 4. JC the Barber says 4. La Familia Transit says 4. Island Boy says 4. Key, appreciate the follow. Leah says 2. I'm between 2 and 4, says Kai. Pete says 4. Look, if I did this and put the cursor up like this, does this change your mind? Right? Does this change your mind, Kai? Where is our key area of interest high? Kai, you're a veteran now, right? You're a veteran. You've been on here every single day. So Pete says 4. Lasting says 4. Well, nobody said 3, I don't believe. So, and that would be absolutely right? 3s, you guys are absolutely cooked. This is not our key area of interest high. Go ahead and drop a follow. I don't want this to be the last time that you guys see me, right? This is not our key area of interest high. Remember, the key area of interest high is the highest point in our market structure currently, and it's the area that we would look to target early on in our session, right? That's the first target that we would look for. This is why this is important that you understand where your key area of interest high is, because that's where you could actually be looking to take some profit, modify your trade, move stops to break even, things of that sort, right? This is very, very important, right? The market moves from level to level, and our key area of interest high is the first level that we would look for the markets to go to. So that leaves 1, 2, and 4, right? I couldn't see the cursor. No worries, right? Right there. That's the cursor. And we'll just put it like that. Put it like that. Just to, you know what I mean? We'll give you a little hint here in a second. Now, in terms of this, if you guys said 1, you guys are absolutely cooked. This is not our key area of interest high, chat. This is not our key area of interest high. So now it's just between 2 and 4, which was the answers that I seen the most. And I believe we could do a little bit of a poll here. Maybe. Oh, custom. Yeah. Let me see. How do I customize this? We're going to do 1 minute. 1 minute. Wait. I gotta poll questions. Hold on. We're gonna get this right. Hold on. Give me a second, chat. Bear with me. We're gonna edit this up. Okay. What is our key area of interest high. Boom. Is it? We gotta subtract option. Oh, okay. Wait. No, I got it. Is it 4? Oh, this is cool. Is it 2 or wait? I guess it should be 2, 4. 2, 4, or IDK. I don't know. Let's save that and we'll start this thing up here. Perfect. How do I start it? Duration is 1 minute. It won't let me start. Okay, hold on. Okay. We gotta do it a different way. Hold on, chat. Bear with me. All right, we're gonna do a quick poll. Drop a smiley face if it is 4. Drop the crying face if you think it is 2. So smiley faces for 4, crying face for 2. What we got? Smiley faces for 4, crying faces for 2. Smiley faces for 4, crying faces for 2. We got 4 people, 6 people now for smiley face, 1 person for crying face. And don't worry, crying face, yesterday the pendulum was mad swung in one direction. So you never know who could be right in this game, right? The majority lost yesterday. So we got 9 for smiley faces, 1 for crying face. So smiley face for 4, crying face for 2. Smiley face for 4, crying face for 2. What we feeling, chat? What we feeling? If you had to pick, you got 17 seconds. You have to pick. There's 93 of you on here. You guys have to choose. What is our key area of interest high? We got smiley face for 4 and crying face for 1. We got 10 smiley faces and 1 crying face. What is the answer? We have now come to our poll where we got 10 for smiley face, 1 for crying face. What do we got going on here? We're going to go ahead and stop this poll. We did win with this smiley face. And for those of you who voted smiley face, you guys are absolutely correct. This is our key area of interest high, chat. This is the highest point in our market structure currently. Good morning, the Panini. Good morning. W's chat for the smiley faces. Hi, did you say if there's a divergence between the time frames, that means a correction is happening? Yes, exactly, right? If the time frames are in opposite directions, right? Then I'm specifically speaking on the 4-hour and the 15-minute, right? Those are the 2 time frames that I'm looking for. The 4-hour and the 15-minute are in opposite directions, then they are in a corrective structure as determined by my system, right? A continuation structure is if they are both in alignment. So W's in the chat for all of you guys who said 4. For those of you who did not say 4, go ahead and drop a follow. I don't want this to be the last time that you guys see me, right? I don't want it to be the last time that you guys see me. So let's take a look. We've marked out our key area of interest high. This is where we would look for the market to actually target. Oh, wait for it. There we go. There. Now we need to mark out our key area of interest low, which is basically round 2. So if you got cooked, no worries. This one can be a little bit more difficult, and we're going to see who actually gets the answer right. So talk to me, chat. Where is our key area of interest low? Is it 1 here? There we go. What? Wait, nope. Almost had it. There we go. 1 there. Is there we go. All right, 1 there. 2 here. 3 here. 4. I'm gonna give you 4. I'm gonna give you 5 on this one. We just did 4. We're gonna do 5. 5 here. Where is our key area of interest low, chat? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If you guys are just joining us up, we're playing a game called Cook or Be Cooked, where you guys help me to identify our key area of interest low and our key area of interest high. This is important. We just did the key area of interest high, which is indicated over here at this 30,280 level. And why this is important is because our key area of interest high in our bullish market structure is going to be our target. Our key area of interest low is where the market structure actually flips from being bullish to being now technical bearish, right? So talk to me, chat. What are we feeling here? What are we feeling? We got 99 of you guys on here. We're almost at 10K likes. I appreciate you guys for getting us to 10K likes. I'm already speaking it into existence, right? So what Shop Straight says 1, non-existent says 1, Adrian says 3, 3 equal lows. Shop says 4, It's Anika says 5, Dabby says 3, Steph says 1, Kai says 3, Mind Time says 5, Pete says 5, Rob says 5, the Panini says 5, Jiminy says 4, Arbitrage says 5. La Familia says 5. Ed says 4. Keesus. Kesis, is that how you say her name? You have to tell me how to pronounce that. Says 1. Island Boy says 5. What is our key area of interest low, chat? What is the key area of interest low? If you guys said 1, you guys are absolutely cooked. Sorry, ones. You guys are cooked. No worries. Stay tuned, ones. Now you got to join 2, 3, 4, or 5, chat. 2, 3, 4, or 5. And the next one that is cooked is our 5s. This is not our key area of interest low, chat. This is not our key area of interest low. Now that just leaves 2, 3, and 4. And I'm going to give you guys a hint now. Do you guys want a hint? Drop a yes in the chat if you want a hint. 3 and 4 are low-key equal lows. They're low-key equal lows, but the more important thing is that you understand which one is the key low, because they're relatively equal, but they're not equal. Let's just be real. And how do we know that? Well, okay, 4 is at right here at 30,128. 3 is right here at 30,124. So they're not technically equal, though they're close to each other, right? So there's a difference between equal and close, right? And only one of them can be the answer. So what are we feeling here, chat? We wanted to hint. Okay, a hint. Our key area of interest low is the lowest point that broke for our previous high. Let me say that again. It is the lowest point that broke our previous key high. That's all I'm going to give you guys. It's the lowest point that broke for our previous key high. So what we got in the chat here? So let me see. What do we got? It's Anika says 3. Sia says 3. Non-existent 3. VR 33. Usagi 3 because it swept the low. Island Boy says 3. Shop Straight says 4. Pretty Tika says 4. Ready for anything 4. Gemini. Oh, that might say Gemini. I probably butchered that. Says 4. He's too far gone. Welcome says 4. I see you changed your profile picture there. Adrian says 3. JC the Barber says 4. Pete says 3. Dabby says 3. Humble says 4. Payne 5. Arbitrage 3. La Familia 3. Woo! We got a lot of things here, chat. We got a lot of things. Y'all just changing answers now. Hey, look, that's okay. That is welcomed, right? That is welcome. You can switch up your answer. I don't mind, right? Because this is, as long as you switching it to the right answer, right? So in terms of this, I didn't see very many 2s, and that's good because 2s are absolutely cooked. 2s are absolutely cooked. Try and try again. Look, that's what this is for. We do this every single day. So for those of you who are on, we got 91 of you on here today. You guys just hit 10K likes. Absolutely appreciate you guys. W's in the chat for the 10K likes. Can we hit 20? If I'm not mistaken, we hit 30K yesterday. I don't know if we can top yesterday, but look, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys, right? So 2s, you guys are absolutely cooked. That just leaves 3 and 4, chat. And the people who are cooked are our 4s, chat. 4, you guys are absolutely cooked because the right answer is 3. Now, if you were wondering what our hint was, right? Our key area of interest low was here. Now, why is this our key area of interest low? Let's talk about it. Remember, the key area of interest low is the lowest point that started the move for the break of our previous high. Let's talk about that real quickly. This right here, right? Let me draw a circle around it. Boop, was our previous key area of interest high. Now you're asking me, Kai, well, how come? Why is that? Right? We're already seeing price target our key area of interest high now, but why is this? Okay, great question. We created this high up here. Boop. We create this low. Then we create a new high by breaking through this here. This becomes the key low. Then what do? We came all the way back down. Guess what? We did not break that key low. No low get broken there. And then we got this long drawn out move to finally break that key area of interest high right here, right? So that makes 3 our key area of interest low. And how you can do this, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a hint here, right? Going to give you guys a little bit of a little cheat code, right? A little cheat code. Who likes cheat codes? I used to use them in GTA back in the day when it was just like up, down, left, right, whole bunch of different stuff. Had infinite money. All right. You go from this top point here, you draw a box from your previous high to your current high, and then you drag it down. It's going to be the lowest point inside of your box, chat. It's going to be the lowest point inside of your box. It's always going to be the lowest point inside of your box. That is your key area of interest low. Now, what happens if we break through this low, chat? What happens if we break through this low? Talk to me. Yep, Adrian, you're absolutely right, right? Change of character, 4-hour time frame. This is the 15-minute time frame here that we're looking at. A new lower low, absolutely right, right? So that's going to shift our market structure from being bullish to now being bearish, technically. Now, what was the level that we've been talking about all week was the level that we needed to get above? What is that level? You guys can't see it here, so let me show you guys. I want you guys to be able to see these numbers here. So this low was at that 30,124, but the level that we've been talking about all week that price needed to break above, which was that larger time frame resistance, falls right here. What is that level? 30,100. So what did price do as it came back down into that 30,100 whole number that we've been looking at all week? Well, it rejected off of it and then it created a new high. This is telling us that, hey, look, now that we've finally gotten above this resistance, which we've just seen in the past, the market has just been rejecting off of. And again, both fundamentally and technically on our analysis, we were bull biased this week, but price was just struggling to get through this. You can see finally when we get through this level, we have that volume there because you need volume in order to break through a very strong level. And that volume came after that PPI data was released. Let me pull back. Let's go back, get a little further ahead of myself here. Right? And we're seeing this continue move to the upside. We likely will see price gravitate upwards of this 30,300, 317 level and potentially higher, right? That's where we have resistance upwards to this 30,600 either this week or next week. We'll see if we have the volume. So you're asking me, Kai, okay, well, what are you looking for today? Like, how do you actually plan to make money? And how did we make money yesterday? Is some of the questions that you guys typically ask me. So I'm going to answer those questions here, right? Yesterday, we seen the market was absolutely cooking. So we caught 3 trades. The market was just sliding. We had to go ahead and make her pay, right? We had to make her pay. Caught this first trade on market open, right? For that continuation. Adrian, this was because Adrian, you always ask me this question. Yesterday, we closed with so much bullish volume, but remember I told you that we're going to wait for that 5-minute candle to close and then just look to get right in off of the 5-minute. Once the 5-minute rejected off of this 29,870, we went ahead and took our buys here. Since this was a liquidity grab and a steep wick, we just set our stop loss below the body of the candle. Look to go upwards into this 30,000 resistance. I capitalized at around that 1 to 2, but then once we broke above this resistance, I caught this trade to the upside, and there was one more that's not here. I think I accidentally deleted it right in here for this continuation up as well. Caught about a 1 to 2 risk to reward on this trade as well, right? I just closed at the 1 to 2. There we go. There we go. For that continuation to the upside. So that was the moves that we caught yesterday based off of what we were expecting in the price action. Now, what are we expecting here today? Well, okay, we're back above this resistance level here, or we're creeping up on it. Where am I anticipating the market to go? We kind of got to zoom out a little bit to see where our next immediate resistance is. Okay, we're upwards here, right here. I mean, next immediate resistance for that I can see is going to be right here at this 30,319, right? Above 30,319, we got price action upwards of, what is this? 30,433. 30,433, and then above that I would anticipate 30,600. So you're asking me, okay, well, how do we actually execute off of this move today? I want to see some type of, first we have to wait for our 9:30 open. That's the first thing that we do. We do that every single day. Upon the 9:30 open, anticipating a higher volume to the upside, right? I want to see some type of corrective structure form. Or if we just get straight high volume, right, and price comes into this area here, we'll look for a continuation on the next 5-minute after the 9:30 open, anticipating to get in at the potentially the bottom wick of that candle for a continuation to the upside, and then we'll target our 30,319 upwards of that 30,000. First, I have to take profits at this 30,400 and see the reaction there. Psychological whole numbers, especially in the markets that we're in, is definitely an area that you want to be looking to actually take some profits there, and then upwards of that 30,437. Is this making sense? Drop a yes in the chat if that's making sense. Your first trade you entered when the 5-minute candle closed. Yes, I did. That's yes. I enter when the 5-minute candle closed. If you guys are enjoying this live here, we're nearly at 20K likes. I absolutely appreciate all of you. Can we hit 20K likes? I would appreciate that there. And if you guys aren't currently following me, be sure to drop a follow. We do this each and every day at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We break down exactly what we're looking at. We take a look both at the macroeconomics and the technical side of things. The macro or the fundamentals is what the news is doing, because we know news adds volume to our market structure. That's why it is the second thing that we do on our checklist here, right? The second thing that we do on our checklist after we making sure that we're trading our 9:30 session, we want to take a look at what the macros are telling us, because this can add potential volume into our current market structure. And then we dial down to the markets and we actually get busy on what the market is actually telling us. If you guys are enjoying this, be sure to drop a follow. I've seen a couple of you following up here. What we got? I see JM, appreciate the follow. Adrian with the, or Angel with the follow. VR30 with the follow. Dabby, appreciate following. Johnny, appreciate the follow. Appreciate you guys following up. Real Bullies of Atlanta, appreciate the follow. You sell pit bulls? Is that what that is? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, but I'm writing so slow down. I apologize. This is actually recorded on YouTube. So if you do want to go on YouTube and you want to watch this back, this is all on our live stream on YouTube, right? I love it. You need to keep doing this for real. We do this every single day. We started in about March, and in March we had about 700 followers. You guys have gotten me almost to 7,000 followers since March. I absolutely appreciate you guys. We do this each and every day. What do you think about ES? Well, let's take a look at it. What's the YouTube name? It's same thing as same thing as our TikTok name. I blanked for a second there for the culture effects. All right, so talk to me. Let's take a look at the ES. The ES is another one that we are inclined to. Take a look at what the ES did yesterday. Well, what did our friend little ES do? It created an all-time high. What have we been talking about? The ES needed to get above. Remember, psychological whole numbers, chat. Hold on. Psychological whole numbers. What is that psychological whole number we've been trying to get above? That price has been struggling to get above. We're looking at it on the daily time frame here. Take a look at that. What is that level? We needed to get back above 7,800. 7,800, chat. Look at how price was just struggling at this level. Struggling with it. You know what I mean? Struggling with it every time we come into this level. Why? Because we need volume to break through hard levels to get through. This is the daily time frame, right? And we had that influx in volume yesterday. So guess what we're at? We're in all-time highs. How do we execute in all-time highs? Because unlike the NASDAQ, we have no data to our left-hand side that we can say, oh, price will react off of this level. We can react off of this level. Well, we need to utilize psychological whole numbers, right? Psychological whole numbers. So what is that going to be? We're talking about our 7,820, 7,830, 7,840, 7,850, right? All the way up to 7,000, potentially 900. We believe that in our near future, not too long from now, we could potentially be heading into these 8,000 highs. I'm not going to lie to you, these 8,000 highs. And we're going to break down exactly why we're looking for this and why we could potentially anticipate this based off of what the market structure has been showing us. If you take a look at both, we're going to start with our quarterly. We're just going to start with our quarterly. Take a look at how this Q3 candle is forming. First of all, Q2, absolutely ridiculous bullish candle, right? Very, very strong bullish candle here. You got so much volume off of those previous 3 months that it's likely that you see that continue over these months. You can already see our current quarterly candle, and we still have 1 month and 17 days before this quarterly candle closes, is already flipped pretty bullish, right? So we're anticipating that continuation. And if this candle closes bullish, guess what? It's likely that the next one at the very least breaks whatever this candle high ends up being, right? At the very least, and that's for Q4. So that's on the larger time frame. Let's dial it down to this weekly time frame and let's take a look at the weekly. Now, if you look at that Q2, right? We can see very, very impulsive move to the upside, right? Can we all agree? Drop a yes in the chat if this is a bullish market structure. Can we agree on that there? Can you do gold after ES? Yeah. We're going to do a speed run here on ES and then we'll do gold, right? We're going to do a speed run. And if you guys want to trade live with me in our VIP, right, we're going to go live at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's in roughly about 35 minutes. We're going to be going live with our team. I want you guys to join up so that you can see how we're actually executing in real time. We're going to be going live with the team there. So we can all agree. Kai says yes. Light says yes, right? We can all agree that this is a bullish market structure here on the weekly time frame. So if this is our impulsive move, what is this here? What would this be right here? What is this? After an impulsive move, you get what type of structure? How can I join? DM me the word ACE, right? If you guys want to join, just DM me the word ACE. No, sorry. DM me the word join. I apologize. I completely cooked that. DM me the word join, and I will send you guys the link to join our VIP. Consolidation. It's a C word, but it's not the one that I'm looking for, and that is the word that I'm looking for right there, Bree. Correction. It is a corrective structure. So after you get an impulsive move, which is just a high volume move in the direction of your larger time frame trend, right, which is really just a continuation, right? We got a continuation up, a correction down, continuation up, correction down, another continuation up. So being that we're in this impulsive wave, can we anticipate that price would likely continue to go up? Well, absolutely. Not only is our quarterly candle showing us, but our weekly is telling us that we're now done with the corrective structure, and we're now in a continuation structure, and we could likely see price gravitate higher. That's the only thesis that we're looking at right now, right? And so what are we looking at here on the I blanked out again, my fault. On the 4-hour time frame, right? Let me remove all of our drawings because this is the first step in which we look on our chart, right? We typically just start with our 4-hour, but I really want you guys to understand where we're at in the bigger picture, because the moves that we could potentially be seeing based off of where we're at are some pretty solid moves. And we've seen that indicated by the volume that we seen yesterday and the volume that we seen last week, right? So we need to identify our 4-hour direction. Well, you guys are going to help me with that there. What is our 4-hour direction, chat? What is our 4-hour direction? If you guys want the step-by-step checklist, DM me the word ACE. If you guys want to join our VIP, just DM me the word join, right? DM me the word join, and I will send you the link. You guys will be able to join our VIP, right? Where we going live. Is this gold? This is ZES. We're going to go on gold here next, right? So Kai says this is a bullish market structure. Charade Trades, I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. You can tell me how to pronounce that in the chat there. Says bullish. Do you use ICT? No, I use ACE. That is A, anticipate, C, confirmation, E, execution. I trade strictly price action, so I don't trade fair value gaps. We do talk about changes of character because it's just, for me, is a fancy term to describe a change in trend direction, and that's what most people understand as a change in trend direction. But for me, I just trade strictly price action, and then I utilize the fundamentals and the technicals to kind of give me my bigger picture. It's one thing to trade a strategy, it's another thing to trade how the markets move. That was something that opened up a lot in my mind a couple years back when I first heard it, right? Talk to me. I appreciate you guys who are following up. So Real Bullies, appreciate you sharing the live. Q1, appreciate you following up here. We're creeping up on 7,000. This is a bullish market structure for all of you who said bullish. So we're going to go ahead and check that off. What is the next thing that we need to do? We need to identify the direction on the 15-minute time frame. All right. After we identify the direction on our 15-minute time frame, which is our game of cook or be cooked that we like to play here, where is... Well, first, before we do this, is our 15-minute time frame bullish or bearish, chat? Because we need to know, is this a continuation or is this a corrective structure? Talk to me, chat. We're almost at 20,000 likes. I appreciate you guys. We're almost at 20,000 likes. I said it right? Wait, you put a question mark on there. Did I say it right or did I say it wrong? Kai says bull. JC says bull. Sheree, I'm assuming you said I said it right. So it's bullish. It's Anika says bullish. DXNFX says bull. Arbitrage says bull. Well, absolutely right, guys. This is a bullish market structure, right? This is a bullish market structure. But we're now going to play our game, cook or be cooked. So if you got cooked on the last one, go ahead. Let's lock in, chat. Let's not get cooked on this one. Where is our key area of interest high, chat? This one should be a little bit easier. Is it 1 here? Is it 2 here, or is it 3 here, chat? 1, 2, or 3. Where is our key area of interest high? Ooh, excuse me. 1, 2, or 3. What are we feeling? Wild Goose, appreciate the follow. Appreciate you following up. We are looking for 1 new follower, possibly 2 if you guys got one of those burning a hole in your pocket. Right, 2 says Erica, 2. The Item Junction says 2. Wild Goose 2. It's Anika says 2. Wonder the Hustler says 2. Arbitrage says 2. Malik says 3. Charade Trades 2. Staying True 2. That rhymed. Shop straight says 2. It's just KC2. Kiwan says 2. Absolutely appreciate you following up there. Appreciate you follow. You just got a ski emoji, so can I call you a ski? Right, Pretty Tika, appreciate the follow there. So in terms of this, it is 2. If you said anything other than 2, you guys are absolutely cooked, chat. You guys are absolutely cooked. Go ahead and drop a follow. Don't want this to be the last time that you see me. So if 2 is our key area of interest high, which would be our target that we look for the market to gravitate towards, where is our key area of interest low, chat? This is going to be a little bit more complex. Is it 1 here? Is it 2 here? Or is it 3 here? Talk to me now. Talk to me. 1, 2, or 3. What you guys feeling? What we feeling, chat? I know you guys can't really see that. 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Focus solely on this wave right here. Boom. You're done now. Talk to me, chat. What we got? I don't know. I'm gonna call you Trophy. Can I call you Trophy? You gotta DM me the word join. Right, I see the join that you put in the chat. You gotta DM me the word join. The good hair, appreciate you following. Right, I should be the good hair guy because I could use some of that there. All right, what we got? Sheree Trade says 1. Malik says 1. Trophy says 3. It's just KC says 1. Kai says 1. Wonder the Hustler says 2. Shop Straight 3. The Item Junction 1. Wild Goose 3. Arbitrage 3. Mari 3. Yes, and I will be interested in 1. If 1 gets taken, then I'm looking for 3. Gold Diggers 2. It's Anika 1. Kiwan 2. And the Good Hair Guy 1. All right. What we feeling, chat? Well, technically, right, on a technicality, 3s, you guys are absolutely cooked. All right, the 3s, you're cooked. This is not our key area of interest low, right? You would already have missed the shift. Right now, that just leaves 1 and 2. And unfortunately, one of you guys are cooked. And guess who it is? It is not 2, because 2 is our key area of interest low. Remember, our key area of interest high is right here. Our key area of interest high is right here, chat. So guess what that means? The lowest point that broke our previous high was right here, chat. This is here at the lowest point that broke our previous high, right? If we broke through this key high up here, then ones, I'm with you all day. I'm with you all day, ones, but we have not broken above this high. If we got above this high, then all day ones, that is our key area of interest low. But why is this important? Well, because I don't want you to see price get below this level here and be like, oh, you know, the market is now flipping to being bearish. That's not to say that it can't push down, but this resistance is where we kind of reject it off of. Can you guys see this? This resistance here is where we actually get in that rejection. Right, that rejection. If we break through this 2 here, then that's when we would actually shift the market structure. So you're asking me, okay, Kai, well, what are you looking for? Okay, well, I'm anticipating a gravitational pull up to this 7,837, right? That's where I'm looking for the markets to go here today. I will not be looking for sells. I've been telling you guys all week that I am not sell biased on any of these assets. I am just bull biased. We're looking to buy, right? Bye. You feel me? That's all we're looking for this week, right? So I'm anticipating price to gravitate up to that 7,837. Above your 7,837, I mean, where's the next area we can go? We're in all-time highs, chat. So, you know, psychological whole numbers leads me to believe 7,840. 7,840, above 7,840, then 7,850, above 7,850, 850. We got 7,860, right? That's just what we got. And we don't have any data to our left hand side, so we can't definitively say, okay, where is price going to reject off of until it forms some type of correction, like how we got off of this 7,837. That's why we're now targeting the 7,837, because this is where we had resistance off of, right? Creeping up on that 7,840, right? So that's why we don't really know, and so we just got to go with the psychological whole numbers that the market is giving us. Drop a yes in the chat if that's making sense. Why buy if you don't know how far it'll creep up? Because the market structure on the 4-hour time frame and the 15-minute time frame have both told us that the market structure is still bullish, right? Just because we're in all-time highs doesn't mean that we can't still capitalize on the volume of the market there. And as a great question, I would prefer to trade the NASDAQ. Why is that? Because we actually do have some structural targets that we can look for price to go to, right? So for me personally, I'll be trading the NASDAQ. But if you're somebody who wants to trade in these all-time highs, and eventually for the NASDAQ, we'll likely get into all-time highs as well, psychological hold numbers are going to be the areas that you want to look to target, or you want to see the reaction, right? Any area that you get a very strong reaction off of, those are going to be areas to look to target. So you would still look to buy only because the market has not indicated that it wants to sell, right? So you wouldn't sell, or the wise thing could be to just sit out of the markets, right? Completely up to you. But in terms of those who actually want to execute on this asset, taking profits at those psychological hold numbers would be ideal, or I like to go a rule of thumb at about a 1 to 2 risk to reward, right? 1 to 2 risk to reward. You see how the market is moving. You close your profits after the first 1 minute candle closes as a bearish candle after the 1 to 2 hours hit, right? That's typically how I would do that in this all-time high. That's a great question. That's a great question. Great question. Great question. Okay, so real quick, we're going to do a speed run on gold here because we've been talking about the gold. Zagilda, right? Zagilda. Now, yesterday, and particularly, yesterday, and really the day before yesterday, Wednesday, we talked about this. This is how I got these 4 circles marked out. On gold, we've been slowing up in volume. We had this nice impulsive run to the upside, very strong volume. Correction down, another impulsive run to the upside, lower volume than the previous run. Correction down, impulsive move to the upside, lower volume than the previous run. Correction down, then it struggled to get it back above this high. Very, very slow volume, the lowest volume of this wave. We said that that was an indication that price could potentially come back down to take out this key area of interest low on our 4-hour time frame. This 4-hour time frame has now shifted from being bullish to now being bearish because we've taken out that key area of interest low, giving us that change of character. So on the 4-hour time frame, this is your key high that would actually shift the market structure bullish. This is the low that would actually, you would look for markets to target based on the 4-hour time frame. I'm still overall bull biased. Despite us getting this move to break through this low, I'm still bull biased on gold. Just based off of what we're looking at on the weekly time frame, which we do have a pretty strong rejection. Not to say that we can't go down, but until the market kind of gives me that extra added confirmation by breaking back through this low here on the 4-hour time frame, I'm still in a bull bias. We're going to treat this as a steep pullback and a possible continuation to the upside like that. But that's not to say that we are going to get that because the market structure has technically shifted bearish. So I won't technically look for bears or sells. Excuse me, you guys can't see this. Sorry. You guys, so in terms of this, we would anticipate price to break through this low just based off of the technical analysis of the market structure, right? But I'm not personally looking for sales. But if you're trading this asset, you're wanting to know, okay, well, what am I looking for here today? 4-hour time frame is technical bearish. After all that we just did, we're technical bearish. We dial down to our 15-minute time frame. You want to see what the 15-minute time frame is telling you. And what is this 15-minute time frame telling us, chat? Are we bullish or are we bearish on the 15-minute time frame here? Bullish or bearish on the 15-minute? Real quick, chat. Bullish or bearish? We're almost at 20K likes. I appreciate you guys. Can we hit 20K likes before we hop off? YBG says bear. Kai says bear. Remember, chat, is good here, guy. Just because I highlighted this move here doesn't mean we're technical bearish. You need to be able to see your key area of interest highs and key area of interest lows because we are bullish. Why are we bullish? We created a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then guess what we did? We broke through this key area of interest high right here, flipping the 15-minute time frame from being bearish to now being bullish, chat. That's why we play cook or be cooked. So our 15-minute time frame has shifted to being technical bullish. If our 15-minute is bullish and our 4-hour is bearish, what type of structure are we in, chat? Are we in a continuation or are we in a corrective structure, chat? Are we in a continuation or are we in a corrective structure? What are we in? What is our market structure currently? A corrective structure. Absolutely right. So we're in a corrective structure. What do we know about our corrective structure? They're overall, they're generally short-term, lower, slower volume. Short-term, lower, slower volume. In this case, we got a pretty good move up to the upside. I ain't gonna lie. But typically, on average, they're short-term, lower, slower volume, right? So we're in a bullish market structure currently, but you can still capitalize on this corrective structure that we're in, right? Again, I told you I'm bull biased anyway. So what will we be looking for in terms of a possible bull bias? We would look for price to potentially come back down into this resistance here. Doesn't have to, but it could. And to come back up to target whatever this high is right here, which is looking like 4,440. 4,443, right? That's where I would anticipate price to go. If we break above the 4,443 high, then back upwards of this 4,000, let's just say 4,460, right? 4,460 for the sake of solid whole number. That's where I would anticipate the markets to go. So we will be trading live, executing on these moves here with our VIP today. You can see the NASDAQ is already giving us a little bit of that steeper move to the upside. We're going to see if we can get some added volume to capitalize on these waves up to that 33 or 30,319, upwards of that 30,400, 30,437, right? If you guys do want to join the VIP, DM me the word join, right? JOIN, and you guys will be able to join us up for our live session today. I don't want you guys to miss out on these sessions, right? So much value given in these sessions, on our live sessions, and in our VIP sessions. You guys get to see how we actually execute, how we're putting these things together, and we have a little bit of some bonus tidbits that we get to send you out on there, right? So do you guys, real quick, last closing question, drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like you got 1% better just by being on this live here today. Drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like you got just 1% better by being on this live here today. The good hair guy says 1, arbitrage says 1. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting value out of this, right? You guys are getting value. Mari says 1, Wonder the Hustler says 1. Are you guys getting value, or am I just talking to nobody, right? Right, let's see, correct 1. Okay, because it's all about getting 1% better. It's called the aggregation of marginal gains, right? This is how 1% better is not always noticeable or notable. This is talked about in the book Atomic Habits that I tell you guys, and we talk about a lot on these lives, right? The aggregation of marginal gains, just striving to get 1% better each and every day. And if you guys feel like you guys got 1% better just by being on the live today, then that means I did my job. Appreciate you guys for being here, because by showing up here, you're proving to yourself that you want to be a profitable trader, and you have what it takes by locking in. You guys are playing cook or be cooked. You guys are cooking up. Some of you are getting cooked, but that's a part of the growth, right? That's a part of getting 1% better. And I just want you guys to know that I believe in you. I know that you guys can do it. Trading has changed my life, and I know that it can do the same thing for you. So just continue to lock in, continue to grind it out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Peace. Enjoy your weekend, chat. Enjoy the weekend.